Hi, everybody. Welcome to Speak Portuguese with Adriana. I am Adriana. I am your Portuguese teacher. And this video, we are going to discuss if soccer remains or not as a Brazilian identity. Yes, we're having the World Cup 2026. Brazil, in my point of view, the campaign wasn't anything special. The Brazilian soccer team drew with Morocco's, but they won against Haiti and Scotland. And I'm recording today, Sunday, June 28th. In Brazil is going to play tomorrow, Monday 29 against Japan. Let's see what happened. And for sure, if I'm teaching Brazilian Portuguese, I have a couple of things to talk about soccer for sure. Because when you think about Brazil, you think about soccer. That's clear. That's very clear. But if you are interested to learn Brazilian Portuguese, please subscribe to the channel. It's a very, very brand new channel. We are just starting this a very, very brand new project. In this video, we are going to have a lot of topics in, for sure, sport. It's a very important topic when you consider Brazil in soccer for sure. So, I think when you think about soccer, the major question is why soccer is so loved in Brazil? And the answer is quite simple because it's not a complicated sport. It requires what? A ball, a cleats, can be sneakers or can play barefoot. And in Brazil, especially in the poor neighborhood, it's for sure today it's a little bit different because we have the social media. But in the past, nothing, just play soccer against each other. That's why, because if boys start to play with 5 years old, for example, when you turn 16, 17, it's just a professional, if you see in that way. In a country with a strong social inequality, with a very weak education system, football ends up becoming a gateway to success, gateway to for better life, if you consider in that way. It remains until now because, unfortunately, the social inequality remains. And but if I have a look, I just noticed this in the. I have noticed since the World Cup 2020. I have noticed since World Cup 2022 in Qatar. I'm not saying that Brazilians they don't have interest in soccer, but it's something different comparing if I remember in the past, because I remember watching a World Cup match or the Brazilian World Cup match was something very special, coming families, friends together, the whole neighborhood watching together, and this together exists. This and so far, this together it doesn't exist anymore. And the question is, what has changed? I think the first point is the great disappointment with the World Cup 2014. And for sure, the very sad match, Brazil against Germany, where we lost 7-1 against Germany. Germany has won this World Cup. And for sure, Brazilians, they remember that. And very painful, I have to tell you. And another point is the use or the depolarization in Brazil has just begun in 2014 in the presidential election in that year. And this soccer, and especially this um, national team jersey or national team T-shirt has used for political meanings, or the political into the Brazilian national T-shirt or national jersey has to be used to build certain polarization, which means left against right. We are going to have for sure another views about this point, but I think this use just divided a country when, in my point of view, it was a mistake, because Brazil was always very divided country, socially divided country. And a very interesting point, I was I was listening to a Brazilian podcast specialized in sports, and just bring me another point, and I didn't think about it, was the distance between the current players, which means myself, if I see now the Brazilian players, the only one that I know is Neymar, but the Neymar so far, they don't play soccer anymore. He's a little bit old. I think 38 or 39 years old. He's playing in a Brazilian national team that calls Santos, but he belongs to the Qatar team, something like this. But so far, they don't play professional anymore. And the young Brazilians, they know the names. The young Brazilians, they don't know the players because they don't play in Brazil anymore, in whatever Brazilian championship. They're playing a lot of them here in Europe. Of course, when you consider the social media, we can have contact, but something very, very Brazil, or something to go to the stadium to see a match, and this thing doesn't exist anymore. It's very interesting. I really didn't realize the point. And another point, this point is my father's point, because he told me it's very, my father, he was and he's still completely crazy about soccer. And he told me something very interesting, because the level of national teams, it's better than in the past, which means Brazil maybe was in the past the best national team. For example, the team from 1970, it's considered the best soccer team, whatever. But now there are another teams, and he told me something interesting. Against Brazil, whatever team it is, they are going to do everything to win against Brazil, which is a very interesting point. So, I'm very curious to know if Brazil is. I don't think Japan have such a soccer tradition. For example, like other teams, like Spain, Germany, for example, the other team. I think Brazil is going to win, but for sure I don't know. And to finish this video, I recommend two series to watch Netflix. Very good one to sing in 5 episodes to watch how Brazil won in 1917. Very interesting. I really enjoy it to watch. And it's very, for me, it was important to see was, at this point, it's very discussed in the Brazilian press, in the sport Brazilian press. It's the players play for Brazil, players playing for Brazilian national team, not exactly for money. Of course, they're playing for money, but which means they don't have what your Brazilian says, o amor pela camisa. They don't love it, the t-shirt or the jersey they are wearing. It's a very interesting point. In this series, you're going to see exactly this point because you see in all Brazilians players, they are playing in Brazil in this point, and they have exactly as I told you before in this video, this connection between public and players. It's very interesting. I really recommend it. And the another one, it's not exactly a series, it's a documentary. It's not exactly fantastic, but it's very interesting. I'll do it like this. It's very interesting because there are old videos from former players during the World Cup 1994, and you see something similar to have, let me see here, something similar to have this, we are playing together and we are going to win this World Cup. It's a little bit different because in 1984, a lot of players, they are already playing in Europe, in different teams here in Europe, but we still have this connection switch, and you still having this connection between audience and players. Exactly the point they don't have exactly anymore. So that's it. Let me see if I just show you everything that I would like to talk to you. Yes. And to finish this video, I will use a very noun phrase in Brazilian plays, use it especially during the intervals. That means football, it's a box of surprises. O futebol é uma caixinha de surpresas. And let's see what happened. So thank you very much to watching this video. If you're interested to learn Brazilian Portuguese, please subscribe to this channel. And I hope to see you soon here on Speak Portuguese with Adriana. Muito obrigada. Thank you.